hello everybody. Welcome to episode number 3 of Unscripted. We did it! We managed to do 3. That's a new one. And today we're going to be talking about dreams and sleeping. It's going to get interesting. We talk about hamburgers, we talk about hot dogs that want to eat you. So if you want to hear us talking about big ass hamburgers that want to eat you, stay for a little bit. Sophie.
Hello, I'm Sophie Cornell. I'm mainly going to talk about, well, not everything, but we also talk about nightmares. So it's not just like happy dreams or, it's like nightmares. It's a pretty interesting one. So hang around with us. Be our third listener, please. We're still here.
Willie.
Hi, I just want to tell you that yeah, the hamburgers and the hot dogs they won't be as surprise as you think of, and probably we're going to try to discuss some scientific facts about dreams that they may be or they may be not. So keep with us so you can find out.
All right, so let's get going.
Yay!
All right, so dreaming. Let's go. I was telling everybody that this topic came to me in a dream. No, this topic came to me in the middle of the night. Like I was having a nightmare, and I woke up and I said, "We have to talk about dreams." Because my nightmare was awful and I wanted to talk about it. But then I forgot. Because that always happens. You forget about your dreams and your nightmares.
You forgot the nightmare. Oh my gosh.
That's the worst part. Like, I always have awful nightmares.
Oh, you know what's the trick to
Yeah.
remember dreams and nightmares in that case? When you wake up, you need to like go through your dream like in your head. Like think about it. And that way they're supposed to like stay in your head. But you need to think like, okay, like like go through the dream or the nightmare in your mind. And that way you're supposed to be able to remember it.
Okay. Could be.
Uh,
Absolutely could be a possibility.
Because it's like a more conscious thing,
Yeah.
like in your head. It's not like unconscious like when you're actually dreaming.
Yeah. Could
So
be.
next time when we like do like part 2 of dreaming, you can actually like say what you dreamed.
Hopefully I have dreams to share, but like that always happens. Like when I'm dreaming or when I'm having a nightmare, as soon as I wake up, I try to do that. Like I try to go over the dream, and like I try to like put it in order, and this happened and this happened, and then and next this one. But I mean, at the end, the only thing that stays are the feelings, and I think that's the only thing that stays with me like next morning, or even small parts. But yeah, so I think that this is a really cool topic. But for me, dreams usually mean like negative things. That's why my background today is like, ooh,
Spooky.
creepy. Spooky.
but
What about you guys?
But I don't know you, but sometimes I don't know. I have dreams and nightmares. I can totally tell like when I was having a dream and then it becomes a nightmare or vice versa. Sometimes I start dreaming out nightmares and they become dreams. But that's weird. I don't know if that happens to you.
Well, in my case, sometimes I dream like 3 different things, but they're like separate. It's not like the same dream that like changes into something else. It's like, like cut and next scene, almost. But and many times I would dream about someone trying to kill me or like being, like in a game and
Mhm.
everyone's like like a battle royale or something like that, and everyone's like killing everyone. But the weird thing is that I don't feel that as a nightmare. because I wake up and I don't feel weird. I don't feel panic. I don't like my heart's normal. And in the dream, I'm not really scared. So I don't know if it would be considered a nightmare because of the topic or not, because it doesn't feel like a nightmare.
So it feels almost like an adventure,
Yeah, like a quest or
like a
something.
quest.
But it's
Yes.
very often that I dream of people trying to kill me. And sometimes I have to kill them in order to survive, you know? So it's like adventurous.
But I have a question then. When you dream that, do you dream first person, third person?
First,
Oh my God.
always first.
So it's not actually like a video. Oh, I mean, it's not actually like a video game because in a video game you're like in third person.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense of the dynamic that
Yeah.
everyone's like against everyone almost. But no, it is first. I never see myself in the dream.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've dreamt of people trying to kill me, right? That happens. That's like I wouldn't say common, but kinda a common dream. But that it's like a video game and everybody's like having
Against you.
yeah,
The,
against you
so
know.
it just feels like you are controlling yourself in your dream, like in a video game or a movie
Uh,
somehow.
I mean, in my dream, it's just basically like trying to survive. Because just last night, I had a dream that I was in Costco.
Very specific.
Yeah. And for some reason, I always, well, aside from dreaming that someone's trying to kill me, it's very common as well that I dream that I have kids with me. And sometimes I know they're not my children, but they're stuck with me for some reason. So last night I dreamt that I was in Costco and there was a kid with me. He was like 4 to 6 years old. And we were buying, like strawberries and, like just groceries in general. And then for some reason, everyone was trying to kill us. So I was like, oh my God, and like grab the kid and ran away from everyone. And it was really bizarre.
I think that you watched too many movies, too many horror
Somehow,
movies.
somehow it sounds like a movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting if someone while sleeping could have like electrodes, whatever, connected to their head and to be able to see what they're dreaming. That'd be something really, really cool.
That's really awesome, and I think that that's like the topic of a few movies, right? Where they get like Inception, they get into the dreams and they can
Yes.
modify all of the dreams. So that's a pretty cool idea. That's pretty neat. I don't think that we're anywhere near close to that. I mean, it's just like virtual reality. I think that we are on the edge of getting there, but we're not there yet. And that would be pretty awesome to see other people's dreams. Because like I told you, I never dream, but obviously that is not real because we know that dreams are like part of everyone. Everybody dreams. It's just that I don't know, I don't pay attention, or I don't get enough rest. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's because I don't get enough rest.
But actually, I've heard that if you don't dream, your brain is like more relaxed and therefore you have like better rest at night.
Yeah, it's kind of
You sleep better when you're not dreaming.
not so active.
Yeah, your brain is like a little bit more shut down than when you're dreaming. And
Really?
since I dream a lot, I do wake up a lot at night sometimes.
Okay.
Like at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Today I woke up at 7 and I was like, oh my God.
Like
Oh.
light sleep.
So you're
Yeah.
a light sleeper, yeah. On the other hand,
Sometimes.
that is I can't believe that because I'm a heavy sleeper. Like you could hit me with a bat and I would be like
A mosquito.
What is going on? Is everything okay? And I will go back to sleep. Like I sleep like a freaking log. Like I, that's it. You're not going
Yeah.
to. But on the other hand, I know people that like the wind
Oh, that's my dad.
wakes them up. You know.
Yes.
So
I mean,
absolutely.
my dad's sleeping like on the second floor, and I closed the front door from my house, and he's like, "Oh, you woke me up," and I'm like, "What? I didn't even make a sound."
Oh my god. And
Have
there's
you
no
know?
even sound about it.
Have you ever had a dream in English? I asked my dad if he has ever dreamt in Spanish, and I have asked my mother like years ago if she ever has a dream in English, and she said no. And I was like, "Oh, you haven't unlocked that feature." And but my dad has had dreams in Spanish.
Really? Oh my god.
Yes, he's been speaking Spanish for over like 20, I don't know, like 28 years.
Yeah,
So it is unlocked that.
it's a long time. Yeah. I well, I don't recall ever speaking in my dreams. So I don't dream neither in Spanish nor in English. Like
It's like a silent movie.
exactly, yes, like it's on the pictures.
Black and white.
Black and white, absolutely. No,
Yarn.
no, I don't recall ever. I mean, maybe like the pictures or the letters, they form words in English. That could be,
What you
but
what what you are like reading during the dream, right?
yeah, and it's very likely that I do dream in English because I read a lot before sleeping, and obviously I read in English because I enjoy reading in English. So it's
Does it
very
help you fall
likely.
asleep?
Sorry? No,
Does it help you fall asleep? Because
no, no.
sometimes I would read, I mean, like years ago, I would read before sleeping and I'd be like, oh my God, I need to finish the chapter. And I just go on and then be like, no, I cannot finish here and just continue. So instead of getting sleepy, I would be like more active
Yes,
while
Wow.
reading.
I remember that when I was like 14 or 16 years old, like I had classes at 7 a.m. in the morning, but I picked up a really good book. I don't even remember the name of the book. And I stayed all night reading. So at 7 a.m. in the morning, I finished the book like at 5:30, and I said, "Okay, so it's time to go to bed."
Now it's time to shower.
Okay, yeah, it's time to go to school. So I would stay awake like the whole night reading because it's addicting. It gives you the adrenaline, and I know, reading is for me like
I don't know how you two can do that. I don't know.
why?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if I start reading something before sleeping, it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops.
I
It's
think it
like,
depends what you're reading. Because if it's
well,
something you really, really like,
Mhm.
I bet you'd be like, oh my God, I need to know what's gonna happen. And it doesn't need to be like a really long book. My dad would always say that to students. You don't need to read like a complete gigantic book. You can read, whatever, like something in the news, an article, or just like a blogger's post. So I think it would depend on what you're reading, the amount of interest you actually have.
well, yes, totally. Because, well, if you refer to reading as, I don't know, as books, probably that's why I'm answering to that. But obviously, if we relate that in, to little articles or something we find interesting, it would be just like, some like the perfect ingredients for a perfect dream or nightmare. Depends. Depends. I don't know. You commented something on having having something connected to our head so we can like see our dreams. I don't know if you ever had the chance to watch this Netflix movie called The Discovery.
Is it with Jason
Jason,
Segel?
yeah.
No, I haven't watched
Mm.
it.
Well, it is just like to say the point of this is like they have this instrument, this machine that you get connected to, and people want to die, people desire to die and get connected to that machinery because they somehow see what happens after death.
Oh, that's
It
and
sounds
and
so you
and
can see
they
life.
and they deal, and then the movie deals with, like loving somebody and how another person wants to die, and what the people are going to see there in the video, and etc. So it's like kind of weird, but somehow interesting, that makes you raise questions like, like what's in there after death, but relating
But
this to the dream is like, what's there when we dream?
I have a question about the movie.
Yeah.
When you like get connected to the machine, you see what's life gonna be without you for others,
No,
or
no, no,
what's
no.
your life going to be after you die?
Yeah, like what
So it's
happens to you and where you go and things like that.
like, oh, I see, I see.
oh, so it's like a way to travel to the ever after, to the afterlife.
Yes, but everybody can see it, and obviously, I don't remember honestly if you can come back from that. But it's
God,
like
let me
no,
try.
no, but the thing is like I don't remember exactly if the movie was like you can die for seconds, like 2 seconds, 3 seconds or
Oh,
so.
that reminds me of Flatliners.
Yes, yes.
They die like for a couple of minutes to see what's
That's
it
on the other
like.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's interesting if you ever want to look at that. But I mean, I can relate it that to what's there. So imagine if we really had the possibility to record our dreams, on a micro SD or something like that, in a
I
pen
know it's
drive.
like that.
But would you like other people to see your dreams? I don't think that you would. I mean,
Well,
uh,
depends on the dream.
well, yeah, but in general, dreams are very personal. Like, I think that the only dream that I do like remember, it was something very, very personal that I woke up crying. And I wouldn't want
Uh,
like this dream. I had this dream a couple of years after my grandmother died, after our grandmother passed away, and like I hadn't, you know, talked about her, or anything. But then one day I had a dream where I saw her and I talked to her. I don't remember the words. I don't remember anything. The only thing that I remember, like, is that I saw her and that I
the
woke up
action.
crying. And I think that, like, to wake up crying from a dream, it has to be really, really deep.
Mm,
It has
yeah.
to touch some fibers in there. So I'm not sure that I would like other people to
But
pick.
Well,
not necessarily like other people. But I mean, I think about it because my mom passed away like a year and a half ago, and I have had a couple of dreams where I would wake up crying. At first I would dream that I knew that she was gonna die. So in my dream she was alive, and I knew that she was gonna die. And then, like a year after she passed away, I started dreaming that she came back to life, that she was dead, or she was like in a coma in a hospital, whatever. And then I would dream that she came back to life. And in most of those dreams, I would wake up crying. And to me, I mean, it is sad. I do wake up like feeling like emptiness. But on the other hand, I feel like, well, it's nice to dream with her, regardless of what I'm dreaming. It's nice, like to know that my brain like still has her, like thinking about her. And I mean, I wouldn't like everyone to see those dreams. I mean, some of them I'm kind of like creepy, you know.
Mhm.
They are.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of them it would be cool, like to have it like in a videotape,
Okay.
you know. So maybe
Yeah,
not like everyone's gonna watch it, but you could like keep it like a
so you
video.
can see it. You can see it again and again and again.
Yeah, that
To
would
relive
be.
the dream. Yeah.
I
That.
I I think that would be the real meaning of getting your head connected so you can record your dreams. You know,
Mhm.
like for personal use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe like as well, like for like research, like psychologist research. Because you know, like dreams tell a lot of a person's unconscious, you know, what they have unconscious on their minds. It's like raw. It's like the most raw way of unconsciousness that you're gonna find. So it would be interesting, you know, if you had like a psychopath or I don't know, like someone with a weird mental what's the word for that? Oh, yeah, like
Issue.
a mental disorder. Yeah. It would be interesting to see like what's going on in their heads,
Could be.
you
That's
know, like in psychiatric.
that's Sophie, the psychologist, speaking.
So taking this one as a basis, you know, like question for the two of you. What would be that dream that you would like to have in a video and it's kind of funny so you can, you know, like show everybody. Do you have one?
A funny dream.
That obviously when you wake up the day after you are like, "Oh my God, that's so ridiculous."
That's
I
crazy.
have a funny one. I mean, and I have so many that they just like memories like constantly deleting itself, you know, to get new dreams into it.
Well, once I remember I dreamt like having my favorite band in the world playing for me in my backyard, you know, and greeting me like oh yeah, you're so cool, dude. So this whole concert's for you, like a private concert, you know?
Which band was it?
Interpol.
Oh.
So it
Okay.
happened. I don't know if you have any dream like that, like something ridiculous happened.
Talking about bands, not so long ago, I had a dream where I met you two. And they were playing like in a small hotel, you know, like in one of
The
those like not conference room, but you know, like with a stage and all the seats laid out. And I remember going up to them and being like, "Hello, my dad's a huge fan of yours." And I was speaking actually with a British accent in my dream, which was fun as well. And I was like, "Oh, my dad's such a fan of yours. Can you like sign this for him? He would love to meet you." And we were just like talking, you know, and that was I remember waking up from that one and being like, yeah, that was cool.
question: what do you choose? What do you two era? Sunday
Uh
Bloody Sunday or
I'm
the recent one?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was quite recent. I mean, they didn't play anything. They were just like either like before playing or after playing. They were just like hanging
Around.
around. Yeah, but I would say like it was like in the recent years.
Okay, okay. And you, Juan?
I think that um, I just like have vague ideas that I've dreamt about being inside video games. Like there was a point where I played a lot of Pokemon, so I would be like inside the game. I would be like part of the game. It happened with Pokemon, and it happened with another one. I don't remember the name. But there are some games that I have. That's why I have so many nightmares. I used to play a lot of a game called Diablo,
Yeah.
and you can imagine that it's not a happy game. So I've also dreamt of being inside that game. So like obviously Diablo is like full of demons and full of angels battling and
Mm.
things like that, and you're like a wizard, not like a wizard. You can be like different types of characters. So I was a character and I was traveling, some of these places that are in the game you like redo the same thing over and over to get better items, right? So I would be stuck doing the same thing over and over and over. That's why I would be like that part of the game. So I think that's like the silliest one, but nothing where I'm like being silly or something like that. No.
I mean the dream itself was silly, not
Yeah.
not you in the dream,
Yeah.
because you
No.
actually you were part of the video game.
Exactly. Yes. I was not asking. I was not with my favorite band getting a getting a
but
private concert.
but question, Sophie, do you like watch Pokemon, or did you watch a lot Pokemon or something?
I mean, I did watch it at some point when it was like streaming, on TV, and you would find it like on local channels,
Uh-huh.
but not any more than that.
But I'm asking that because, like, who hasn't dreamed about, catching Pikachu or
I haven't.
Charmander or something like that?
Oh no, I haven't.
Well, in my case, guilty of that.
You've dreamt. All right.
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
Who hasn't dreamed about it? And I do remember
Oh,
another silly dream. Like, I don't know if you remember these gray or white boxes that they were, or they are. I don't know if they're still there in the hanging from the post, from the telephone post, the wooden post, you know?
like how you call that?
No idea, but
Like
Yeah,
with
they,
like the
like
boxes.
nipples inside, and
yeah, but they were just like these kind of boxes, like white
oh,
boxes or gray boxes, but they're in the
like
post.
at the very top of the
Yeah.
post.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you remember, Juan, you were one of those boys that had an N64,
Yeah, I do have. I had an N64. Yeah.
and I had an SNES.
Yeah.
But the N64 was like the next generation
Yeah.
console. And obviously I did want one of those, but
Yeah.
I never had. And I dreamt that those boxes, I do remember that those boxes were N64 consoles. So I was dreaming, like climbing up to the post, having one. It's just like I'm gonna play N64 for me myself.
How old were you when you
Obviously,
dreamt that?
I don't know. Your N64 one was, I don't know, when you were 11, 12, something like that.
Yeah. Probably. Probably. I think that. No. I think I was like 8 or 9 years old.
So I was 6 or
Yeah.
something
Oh
like
well,
that.
it would be funny if you had that dream like a year ago, or like like
Yeah,
finally.
got it. But yeah, it happened. It
All
happened. It
right.
happened.
Have you ever had dreams where you fly, where you can fly or like levitate?
Yes. And the worst part is when you fall. Like one of the worst dreams is like sometimes I've had dreams like I'm a little bit afraid of heights, you know? So for me flying is not like I'm
Listen,
free. It's a little bit stressing because I'm afraid of heights. So I have had dreams where I'm like jumping, you know? And suddenly, as if it was a video game, I jump and I go really up into the sky. And I'm
Like
like,
Hulk.
yes, like the Hulk, exactly, or something like that. And I'm flying, 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 flying. But then it goes to fall, of
gravity
course.
doesn't thing.
Yes, gravity doesn't agree with me being there in the sky. So I start falling, and oh my god, that's the worst feeling in the world because I don't like the feeling of falling. For example, when I go to amusement parks, I don't usually get on the rides because I don't like the feeling of. "Woo." I mean, I'm trying. I'm working on that, but I don't like it so much. So imagine that 10 times because you're falling from the sky at, top speed. And at the end, before you hit the ground,
You wake up.
you wake up. I usually have those dreams when I'm just about to
Wake up.
fall asleep. No, the opposite. When I'm just about to fall asleep. Yes.
It has happened to me that I'm not necessarily falling, but I do get vertigo, like
Okay.
in my dream. And I remember, it has happened like multiple times that I would try to wake up myself because I'm like just about like to wake up. So I know it's a dream, but I'm not like conscious enough like to wake up. So I'm like desperate, like, oh my gosh. And it does feel like a falling sensation,
Mhm.
like that very vertigo that you get.
So it's like when you, like you said, when you are like about falling or getting moved or something or kicked or whatever, it- you 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 seem to be finishing your action, when you're awake. So you wake up like just moving like you were scared, like if you were scared,
I think that because since you're going to sleep, I'm sure I read that somewhere. Since you're going to sleep, your brain shuts down more than it should, or that's what it thinks, and your brain sends like a shock to your
Yeah.
body because your brain thinks that it's dying. So it sends like a shock, like wake up,
From
and that's why you like always wake up like shaking or like from a like a weird movement,
Yeah. From what I read, I also read something similar to that. And I read that when we're about to fall asleep or when we're about to wake up, like the brain shuts down the body so you don't move. Because
sleep paralysis.
otherwise you would be like walking and moving and hitting other people while you dream.
Sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking or things like that. So actually your brain shuts down your body. But there is like a moment, there are some times where you are asleep, but your brain hasn't shut down your body.
Your body.
So when you make a movement, your brain is like, what the heck is going on? The body's not supposed to move. So it's like, that's why it goes into shock and it wakes you up. Like the brain wakes up and you get scared. That's why you usually move your feet or something like that. Usually you move one foot or your arm and you hit somebody.
So it's like is this that is the sleep paralysis, right?
Well,
Or
kinda.
kinda.
But
the
the sleep
opposite.
paralysis is the opposite, exactly. Sleep paralysis is when your body is
It's
like
not responding.
blocked,
Shut down.
shut down, but your brain is awake. And I was going to tell you about that because that is also something that happens to me so freaking much. I suffer a lot from sleep paralysis. Like I remember the first time that I got sleep paralysis, I was like 12 years old. And everybody is like, in Spanish we call it se te sube el muerto
Yeah.
because you cannot move. And you hear voices, but you hear voices like it's awful.
Like in a slow motion.
Because your body is not responding and your brain is like confused. So you hear voices, like really awful voices, and you see shadows. If you open your eyes, you cannot move, but you see shadows. And I remember
Jesus.
it's you have no idea.
Fuck.
It's absolutely awful. It's atrocious. And you're like hearing voices and you're like, you cannot move. And this happens to me like very, very often. That was the first time. And then I remember other times happened and I would feel like if they were aluches, I usually sleep in a hammock. So I would feel hands moving
Jesus.
below the hammock, touching like that. And hear laughter like, oh, you have no idea. It was freaking awful until I discovered that it's sleep paralysis. So nowadays, when something like that happens, I know that it's just sleep paralysis. So if
I
I'm
would I was gonna ask if you get used to that.
Yes, you get used to that. Like nowadays, like it happened to me like 3 days ago, and I woke up. I couldn't move my body, but I was like, everything is okay. My dog is over here, and she would be barking if there were anything inside the room. She would be going crazy if there was a
You get more
spirit.
logical about it, you know?
Exactly. So I was like, yeah, nothing is going on, and there's nobody here. Nobody's listening to anything. It's just me. And then you start telling your body, you start focusing on one part of your body, like move, 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 move. And the moment that like your finger moves, that's it. You are free. Like your finger moves, I'm free, and you
It's
go to the
like
bathroom.
it's like Kill Bill moving your little your big toe.
Yes, like something has to give. Like something moves, and that's it. You're free. But like if you've never suffered from sleep paralysis, the first time that you suffer it, hello and good luck. That's it.
You feel like an out of body experience. Oh my God,
It's awful.
that's yeah. I can imagine that. Well, I recall never
One
suffered
star.
that before. Uh, Probably I am about to suffer that one now. But now that you mentioned that, is like I am not that kind of person. I don't tend to, like to move in at night. Well, that's what, my wife says. But what I notice is that, well, sharing the bed every night, I notice that my wife is like every night she suffers that. Every night we are, like about to fall asleep. Well, or I am like still watching TV or something, and she's like, and hits me, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? And he's like, sorry, but almost every night, and it's not just once, it's twice, three times, or I don't know. But I don't. I think like her brains, takes longer time to shut down than
Well,
usual.
that could be like even like a issue, like sleep is so freaking important that issues like that, like they can carry so many problems in the long term. Like for example, I know people that their noses were like a little bit twisted,
Hmm.
and they can't breathe. And if you cannot breathe, you're going to start getting up all the time at night.
Yeah, because
So
you don't have oxygen in your lungs, right?
exactly, and then you don't rest, and then you eat a lot in the mornings, and you gain weight. So it's like, and you can die. Like it's so bad because your brain is not resting. And yeah, I hope that your wife like starts getting better rest. You should get like a hammock so she can hit people while
No,
you're
I
not
mean
there.
the problem is not like she hits me or something. The problem is like I'm worried about like getting proper sleep time,
Yeah.
But you know the thing with sleep, another important thing is that you have I don't know how you call it in English. In Spanish is higiene del sueño.
Okay, what's that?
So it's basically that you need to have like a proper routine before
Yeah.
sleeping. So that would include like not watching television, your phone, an iPad, no electronic devices before like I think
Yeah.
it's like 30 minutes
Yeah.
before you
Hmm.
sleep.
No
Uh,
coffee.
yeah, like no coffee, no tea. There's like a bunch of things that you can do like to have like decent sleep. And people who do it obviously get like, I mean, not only they sleep more hours, but they also get like a better quality. Because
Yeah.
it happens to me that I would sleep like, I don't know, like 8, 9 hours a day or well, at night. And I would wake up and I would feel like I only had like 2 hours of sleep. And I'm
That's
like, what's going
horrible.
on? So that's like very, very important. So that maybe that would be something that would help her
Yeah.
like have better quality while sleeping.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm definitely suggesting that next
Yeah.
time.
For sure,
So
man.
I have another question for you. So, um, what is that dream? But because we're talking about dreams, what is that dream that somehow you can remember, like like if it was something real, you know? Not just like, yeah, like I was in the concert of my favorite band in my house, but a dream that it can happen, that is kind of reachable, you know?
Like possible.
Yeah, a possible dream that probably it is like something that can happen in the future or will happen in the future, like you're dreaming the day you get like graduated from school, or the first day of vacations or something like that,
Oh, that's
do you
weird.
have a do you have a dream like that is so real?
No, if I had a dream like that, no, I don't think. Not that I remember. I mean, maybe at some point, like I dreamt of, I don't know, being
Finishing
rich on
marking all
Facebook.
of the exams.
Yes,
Yeah.
finish grading all of my papers, all my students' papers. But no, I mean, I don't think that I usually have dreams like those where it's something that I want to get. Like
Okay.
usually my dreams are like in fantasy land.
So on the other hand, what is like the worst nightmare you ever had?
Oh, worst nightmare is deep. Like I told you, I only remember feelings. Let me think about it. Sophie, do you have a nightmare that you want to share?
Um, I I think I do. I mean, I had the nightmare a while ago, like years ago. But I'm not. No, I think I'm never gonna forget that. I had a dream that I was like in an hacienda. It was yellow. It was abandoned. They had like the floor was all destroyed with rocks everywhere and just dust everywhere. And I was walking around with someone, I don't really remember who. And out of nowhere, my aunt, my mother's sister, was a demon that was trying to kill me.
What?
And she was like, I mean, she was, let's say, like her body looked kind of like Slenderman, like very thin, very long, but she could actually like climb a tree like a spider, you know. So it was like, I mean, there was no running away from her because I could not fly in that dream. And it happens to me a lot as well that in my dreams and nightmares, if I'm running away from someone, I mean, I'm running, but I'm not like advancing. So I'm like running, like, so I'm not getting anywhere. And that was like pretty creepy. And I do remember that I woke up from that one being like, what just happened? Because it also felt so real. It was so, so real.
Oh my god. You were chased by Spider Slenderman,
Which was my aunt.
which was your
Yeah.
aunt, yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
god.
bizarre. Let's say it was bizarre.
Well, to say the least. What about you, Willie? Do you have a freaking nightmare? Taxes. Paying
Well,
taxes.
yes, yes, like every April, but nightmares, I do remember one nightmare that I was being chased by a giant hamburger. Not to be a surprise, that night I had, eaten a hamburger, But the nightmare was so real because I was like, I don't know how to describe this, but I was on a street, and I was kind of running down the street because, I mean, actually running down the street because the street was like, with full tilt.
Okay,
So
it
I
was
was
tilted, yeah.
yeah, I was like going down, 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 like like hell. I felt like Usain Bolt, and the hamburger was behind me. But the hamburger, it was not just like we see it, like flat. It was like in an up way, in an upwards way, you know.
Like you saw the bun.
Yeah. So it was like moving like the arms. The hamburger was moving its arms, and was running and running and running and chasing me. But it was so imagine I am like my height is one meter 78 or 180 sometimes, and the hamburger
Sometimes.
was like, well, if
When he wears heels.
no, when
When
I
I
wake
feel
up,
like it.
when I'm sad, I'm 178. When I'm happy, 180. But the thing is, like, the hamburger was just like 2 meters and like 1 kilogram, 100 kilograms. So it was like chasing me, and I was like running and running and running and running away. But somehow I just remembered, like, all of a sudden, like, wait a minute, it's just a hamburger. It's food. I can eat it. The hamburger cannot eat me. I can eat the hamburger. So I just like turn around and by magical powers, I just had a gigantic bite, and it was like all of a sudden 1/4 of the hamburger out. So it was like I finished the hamburger, but it was
In
like a
one bun.
nightmare. But it was
Oh
like,
my god.
you know,
Mm.
obviously I next day I woke up like feeling super fat.
Man versus hamburger. Like the TV
Yeah.
program.
Yeah, please make it a movie, please. Adam Sandler, please.
Oh my god. And that happens a lot, right? When you eat a lot, like you're going to have a nightmare. Like it's almost like a must. Like if you ate a lot before going to bed, you're
We
going to
have
be
a
like,
scientific reason, right?
is it?
Yeah. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it is because, like, obviously when you eat is when our body consumes a lot of energy. It's working a lot because it's
Mm-hmm.
processing all of the food. So if you literally eat like 10 minutes 20 minutes before going to sleep, first of all, it's difficult to get to sleep.
Yeah, to
but
fall
if you
asleep.
but if you get, um you will have nightmares because your brain, it will be very, very, very active,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why. That I think that's the scientific reason, to for that to happen.
Could be. Okay, I mean, I'll take your word for it because I don't know much about it, but yeah, it could be. I mean, your brain is going to be working because you're going to have energy. You're going to have extra energy there
Yeah.
lying on your stomach. Could be. I don't think that I had a nightmare as interesting as that one. Like I think that usually my nightmares are like of falling or of
Survivalism,
exactly
like
surviving.
Sophie's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me those are nightmares. Those are not good dreams where you get when you get to kill other people.
Do you remember the first nightmare that you had as a kid?
Oh no, probably not.
Of
No.
course, yes. Of course, yes.
Yes, what was
Being
your
being
ah that is so bad. Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, I drink a lot of coffee before going to sleep. So I usually have dreams where I need to pee, and when I wake up, I need to go to the bathroom so bad. I should stop drinking coffee before going to sleep.
like a must.
Yes,
But
that's
yes,
something.
probably yes, Sophie. To answer that question, yes, the nightmares in which I am like kind of going to pee, and you are a kid and things happen,
Accidents, yeah, accidents happen.
Yeah.
and you. Do you remember your first nightmare?
I well, maybe not the first one. I mean, the first one that I remember, you know. But I remember that one time I was probably, I don't know, like starting primary, I think. And it was like super random, like all my dreams. It was like, like those like bands like from the supermarket where you would put your things and they just like move.
Mhm.
And it was one of those. It was like a factory almost. And it was full of toys. It makes no sense, but it was full of toys. And there were like these big things like on top of the band that would like go down and crush everything. It was like a big huge block. Super weird. I think there's a movie actually that I used to watch when I was younger. And in that movie, the bad guy used to like it was I think like a, I don't know, like a lake or something like that, like black, almost green water, and they would like throw the kids' toys in there. So it's probably related to that
Mhm.
scene in that movie. And anyway, so the band was moving, and all the toys were on top, and that machine was just like, and it was very like in a very like a rhythmic way, so
Mhm.
it would like close and open and close and open, and everything was getting crushed. And I don't know, to me that was a nightmare at that time. And I remember waking up and going to my parents' bedroom and be like, oh, I had a nightmare, can I sleep here? And they put on the hammock, because I'm not going to sleep in the bed with them two in the bed. So I was in the hammock, and I remember the noise that the ceiling fan made was like close enough. So I was like, oh my God, it's not gone. And it was just like really, really weird. And also, my mom used to say, and my dad as well, I don't remember that, but my mom used to say that when I was very little and I used to watch Rugrats, I would have nightmares with Angelica. You remember the blonde one
Mhm.
that has
The
what's the name
evil
of the
one.
doll? Yeah, she had a doll. Can't remember.
Uh,
Cynthia.
Cynthia, yeah, that's true.
I apparently I used to have nightmares with her as well.
Oh my goodness.
I don't remember because I would when I was younger I would sleep. I would sleep. I would talk in my sleep.
Mhm.
So I would probably say something about Angelica.
Okay. And when you mentioned the fan with the same sound, did you continue with the nightmare or did it stop?
No, I mean the thing is that I had trouble falling asleep again
Okay.
because I had that noise. Like just it was just like as you say, it's just like the sensation
Mhm.
of like like it brought back the feeling
The feeling,
of the
yeah.
dream. I was not dreaming because I was
Mhm.
awake, but I did like find it difficult that night to fall asleep again because of the fan. I think I even told my mom like, can we turn it off?
Has it
Because it was
happened? Has it happened to you where, like, you are having a dream or a nightmare, and then you wake up, and then after a little while you continue with the same
part
dream?
two. Yes.
Part two, yes, of your dream.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
happens a lot, and sometimes when it's a good dream, and you wake
You're
up,
like,
and
You want to.
yes, have you ever done that? Like you force yourself to
yeah,
continue doing that dream?
yes.
It's pretty cool, right? Like because you can like come on, and you start like reliving the dream up to the point where you were, and you continue the dream there again, and then it continues. Let's go, we did it.
Oof.
Yeah, it has happened to me. It is cool.
Yeah. Do you remember the dream or not? Only that it happened.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, it has happened to me like 3 times maybe. And it has happened as well that I'm like trying to fall asleep and I'm just like thinking about the dream, like, oh, that was a weird one, whatever, or a cool one. And then since I'm thinking about that before I fall asleep again, I would continue
Mhm.
dreaming about that.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it was. Do you?
No, no, but that has only happened to me with dreams, not with nightmares. Like,
Yeah.
well, because I don't want to continue reliving the nightmare, so
What happens to me is what used to happen is that I wouldn't want to fall asleep again after a nightmare, thinking, "Oh my God, I'm gonna dream the same
mhm.
thing again."
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
you're like to tend to think you're gonna relive that.
Yeah, you're like
Mhm.
happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts.
Well, I can totally tell you that, yeah, it had happened to me. Like, there is a second part of that hamburger dream, the hot dog one. That's the second part. So yes,
Someone
sometimes
needs
I do have.
with fast food.
Yeah, you know what? I really, really love hamburgers. Really, like I can totally tell you that and confirm that I once had a dream, not dream literally like having a dream sleeping, but my dream was like to create a blog or something like that about hamburgers in the city.
That's pretty awesome. We should do an episode talking about the best hamburgers here in the city. For sure, we can
Yes.
talk about that. I mean, I'm not a expert, on hamburgers. I love Carl's Jr. So
So
take my
it is
opinion
not
with a
that
grain of
it is
salt.
not that we are experts or not. We are enthusiasts.
Okay, yeah, it could be. We
We
should
are
do an episode on
admirers.
food.
Now, I think I have a good question now to think about this. So, and probably you have heard or read something about it. It's quite simple, but what do you well, we can speak, we can listen to, like we are not blind, we are not deaf, um, etc. But we tend to dream about people that we know, faces, sounds that are familiar to us. But the question is, what does a deaf person dream about? What does a blind person dream about?
That's a crazy question. That's
Yeah.
that's
I don't know if you ever
I'm pretty
had
sure
a
that
reflection on that.
you have talked about that because I have come across on Instagram a couple of people that are either deaf or blind or just like
With a
that cannot
disability.
walk. Yeah, and they use a wheelchair. And they often what they do is that they answer these types of questions. If it's a blind person, they would say, "Oh, how you know when your glass is filled if you're like pouring something on the glass?" And they would show the device that they use for that, you know,
Mhm.
or just like regular things in life. So
Yeah,
I bet there's an answer to that
yeah,
question.
probably
Just
somewhere.
especially if you were born like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, there is
Like,
a difference, right?
without no like input,
Yeah.
to
So that's why I was saying, like getting like the context, like obviously we don't suffer from that, like we
Yeah.
don't have those kind of disabilities. That's why we can perfectly, dream about a person,
Yeah.
the hair, eyes, eyebrows, etc., etc., colors. I think even smells,
Hmm.
even
but
taste.
Taste.
Because I have had dreams where I'm eating something and you're like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever had. And then you wake up and you're like, no.
You know, I
well,
I I guess I'm going to take a stab at it, and I think that they are going to dream about the input that they have. Like if they cannot see, well, they are going to, have sounds or and feelings in their dreams because that's the only thing that they. I mean, I guess, but
they
that's a
can
really
only dream
interesting.
about the input they
The
have.
inputs that they have exactly. Like,
So what I read about it and what I heard from in videos is that if you are like born like that, you probably won't dream faces and nothing about it, because you they don't have
yeah.
that input. But as Sophie was mentioning, if if they like suffer like an accident or something like that, and they can also have those dreams about people, about sounds, etc., 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 but through the time they go losing that ability, but through time.
Could be.
So I mean, sometimes I reflect on that, and it's like, oh my god, when you have a bad day or something like that, and you're like, I feel blessed, I feel blessed
And
for many things.
you know, it has to be, it has to feel really, you know, well, really bad that you're losing something that not even your dreams you can get it back, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, for example, something that I said at the start of the episode, I love reading.
Hmm.
And the day that I start losing my sight, it's going to be, you know, really, really hard because, well, of course you can read with your hands and you can listen to, but like I can only imagine the feeling of losing that thing that you love. Like, have you ever watched a movie? I don't remember the name, but I'm going to look it for it. But where this lady, she's like a, the best at. She's a scientist, but she's really a great scientist, and she gets early onset Alzheimer. That means that she's really young. She's like 40, and she starts
Hmm.
getting Alzheimer. You know,
Hmm.
you haven't watched it. It's really good, and it feels really bad because you can see
Still
how she
Alice?
starts losing, her ability to remember, her ability to think. She used to be a speaker, and she used to give talks, and she starts losing that ability, and it's crushing. It feels, only remember it, I feel really, really bad.
That's Julianne Moore, right?
Julianne Moore, yeah, absolutely.
Still Alice.
Ah, yes, in Spanish it's called
Oh,
Por Siempre Alice.
I haven't watched it, but I have heard.
Watch it, it's really good. It's called Still Alice, Por Siempre Alice. It's really good, and it hits you hard because imagine the thing that you love the most,
Hits you hard when you're high
especially, yeah. Imagine the thing that you love the most
and you lost.
disappearing,
Yeah.
bit by
Gradually.
bit, gradually, yes. And she even tries to kill herself, you know? Because she's so smart that she knows that she has Alzheimer, and she starts creating, like, you know what? In her computer, she has a picture, and the picture says, "Open this." She opens that, and it shows a video that she recorded when she was okay that says, you're starting to lose your mind. I know that you don't want to do this. I know that you don't want to end up like a vegetable, So it gives instruction. Go to the cabinet, grab the pills, take all of the pills, And she has like steps that she starts doing. That's like the end, that grab the pills and eat them. And you see that she's so smart that she even created that for herself. And I'm not going to spoil the end, you know but it's, you see that she didn't want that, so losing something gradually has to feel bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, going back to the people that lost their sight and now they can no longer dream like that, has to
That
be,
would be hard.
yeah, absolutely, that has to be a freaking nightmare. That is a real nightmare.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not falling, but maybe. The hamburger is also a nightmare.
Yeah, but
Freaking
nothing
hamburger.
like that. Nothing compared to that.
All
Yeah,
right.
I was just, like curious about that, even if you ever heard something about it.
That was a really good question. Really interesting. Really deep. But yeah. Finally, before we finish, do you have recurring nightmares? Something that happens over and over?
People wanting to kill me. I'm like the most paranoid person, apparently. I have done some research because I'm like, what? It used to be that all the teeth, or almost all the teeth in my mouth would fall out. And that's like one of the worst fears that I have in life. I mean, oh my gosh, that's something that I'm trying to avoid as much as I can, like for when I'm like 80. So it used to be that I used to always dream that all my teeth would be falling out my mouth with no pain, but still. And then we switched to being chased or trying to be killed by someone. And it's a different story every single time, like different scenario, different people, sometimes with a gun, sometimes with like, I don't know, like a machete, whatever. But it's always people trying to kill me. That's the most recurring one.
Eh,
Wow.
I've heard that. I've heard that one about your teeth falling. That one is
Yeah.
really common. Like that
I
happens to a lot of people.
I put that answer for you in the chat so you can read it. It's from the book, The Meaning of Teeth Falling.
Yeah, right. It says that it means that you're worried about your appearance, or also that you feel that you lost personal power or your ability to be
In the,
decisive.
yeah.
Maybe that's very much when you are a teenager. Like that is a dream that you have as a teenager for sure. That might explain why you no longer have that dream. Like
Yeah.
you don't feel
Yeah.
like that.
Like you feel like more in control of
Yeah,
You get
yourself.
more confidence and then you stop having it.
yeah, for
This
sure.
is a very scientific episode.
Turns out.
Well, I wouldn't say I would take all opinions expressed in this podcast with a grain of salt. Okay, the only one that can be classified as an expert on the mind is Sophie. Okay, all of the other people here are not experts on anything.
We just happen to know a little bit of English.
Exactly.
I like to
that
talk.
and like to talk. Exactly. That's the only thing that I'm an expert on. What about you, Willie? Do you have a recurring nightmare?
Well, I don't know if you remember watching this video meme on Facebook in which there are people on a boat.
Oh no.
They are going like high speed and they're just like very serious and very calm, very cool, like riding the boat. And then suddenly, the I don't know if it's the sea or the water, like changes and they like turn and the people in the boat like goes away.
Okay.
It's an old video actually. Well, that's my recurring dream. I kind of dream being in that boat, not with those people, but being in a boat like just going very fast and like, you know, falling from it. Like I dream that probably twice a year, three times a year, every year since I had it first, like 10 years ago or something.
Oh my god. That's
Yeah.
a recurring dream.
Afraid of
I,
like deep waters are not ready.
and it is not necessarily deep water. Sometimes I dream it like I'm like in El Corchito, a very calm place, but I'm there, like going like in an F1 car, but on water. And sometimes I dream I'm like in Progreso, or sometimes
Local.
yeah, depends on the year.
When you said video, like a video slash meme, I swear you're gonna say obedece a la morsa.
No.
No, that's the
No, no, no,
stuff
no.
of nightmares. Oh my god. No, I'm going to dream about that now.
I swear I thought you were gonna say that.
No, 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 no. No, that one just like I I remember that video is from junior high. Well, my case,
I
but
think I
I
was in
don't know.
high
It
school.
was it was not very nice to see it.
Oh, it was bad. But I think that in my case, the only one that is very recurring is the one where I fall. Like, it's different things. Sometimes I jump. Sometimes I get shot from a cannon, from a from a like if I was a cannonball.
Like so from the
Yes,
Muppet.
exactly. Sometimes I jump from a plane. Sometimes I have no idea. Like sometimes I'm swinging as if I were Spider-Man. That happens after playing Fortnite. Like I'm swinging as if I was Spider-Man, but suddenly there is no more. There is no more web shooter. So it's
Oh,
different things, but always the one where I'm falling. That's the one that's the only recurring nightmare.
I
Maybe there are more, but could be. So, absolutely amazing having you guys here. It was a good talk. It was an interesting episode,
Interesting.
this one. Yes. At some point, we will have to do maybe we can do a second episode at some point. But yeah. And, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Oh, no, no, wait. Before we finish, all right. Where can they find you, Sophie?
They can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's Sophia or Sophie with an F, Condale. I mean, I'm gonna be pretty much the only one you find, so I'm there.
What about you, Willie? Where can they find you?
right. You can find me on Instagram. Willy Coincidence, double Ly, and coincidence as in coincidencia in Spanish.
Okay.
On Instagram. Yeah.
On Instagram. Nice. In my case, you can find me as Tamalito everywhere, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram. I've been posting photos on Instagram. I took up photography
Mhm.
just because now I want to get myself a camera, but it's
Hobby.
very expensive. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I have like a million hobbies. They're expensive, not good. But yeah, you can find me as Tamalito everywhere. And yeah, everybody, thank you so much for watching us today. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.